broadcasting and like flirting with my wife's favorite author, like on the thing. Like she hasn't said explicitly that you're her favorite, but I have been like threatened for you to get out your next book in the series. So like
I'm working on it actually.
I know you are. And I've been threatened for you to put your next book out. So I'm gonna need you to work this chaotic indie thing.
Yeah.
Get it a little streamlined so that I don't get threatened any longer. Be great.
I may have to have a conversation with her then.
That's right.
Dun.
That's not going to do me any favors unless it does me some favors. Welcome everybody to Sako and the Moon.
Yep. Today on Sako and the Moon, we are diving into the supernatural world of the Guardian series with author J.Noble, also known as Jenny.
Good morning, Jenny.
A multi-genre storyteller blending paranormal romance and fantasy and witchy, queer, creative energy. From the spark that started her series to the monsters, guardians, and emotional shadows that shape her characters, we're unraveling the magic behind her worlds. If you love found family dynamics, dangerous protectors, and stories with teeth, you won't want to miss this conversation.
The book will not bite you, but maybe if you're into that. I'm gonna get somewhere to actually record this once. I don't know who will do the vocal, but I'm gonna get somebody to do that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I'm gonna find someone, and I'm like, give me.
It should be Ace.
I'm like, give me a theme song, and all I want you to say is theme song. It's a theme song. Here's the theme stuff. Just fall into that realm. That's the whole theme song. What's that, like 20 seconds? Yeah, give me that.
Give me that.
Yeah, we're gonna work.
30. It's like 20 seconds, almost to the.
Sounds about 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Ooh, can you tell I've been doing this for way too long now? I'm one of those people who's like, oh yeah, that's 20 seconds. Yeah. Look at me,
so good.
Almost knowing what I'm talking about.
If you're new to the channel, I am Sako to me. Artist and author and a bunch of other things, but we'll just mention that I'm self-published. Well, more than 3 times over. I have like 6 publications out there. And I've been working on my craft for decades, and now I'd like to share my skills with you guys.
And I, of course, am Dewan L. Hearn, the biggest thorn in Sako's side, more affectionately known as the Moon. I write stuff, I film stuff, and I talk to people. I do more harassing Sako on this show than I do anything else. Because
I'm here for it.
Like I was having this conversation. The conversation that you guys showed up seeing was completely off camera, intended to be off camera. Then I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. I don't give a shit. Go ahead and start the show. We'll just start the show this way. Like, it's cool. Like, if there's something chaotic on this show, I guarantee you it's my fault.
Or it could be J.Noble's fault. Dun, dun, dun.
No, totally my fault.
Could you introduce yourself to our audience?
Well, what can I say more than what you already said?
I know, right?
Right. My name is J.Noble, or I write under J.Noble. My name is Jenny. I am a Minnesota girl trapped in Alabama currently.
It's not a hostage situation. I promise. She is safe.
Well,
roughly.
I mean,
she's safe.
I write more fantasy than anything, but I have a series that is paranormal romance. I like to write flash fiction, short stories. I've been published in 3 anthologies now. Yeah.
The same anthologies that I've been published in. Absolutely.
Yes. Last to do. I love doing the short stories, and I'm all over the place trying to be less chaotic, but it's not working pretty well. So
yeah, and as you can tell, she's friends with the both of us, but she's friends with me, which means chaos is following her.
What?
Yeah,
I like stalkers though sometimes.
I qualify. And as much as I joke about being I'm not really a stalker. People, calm down. Don't try to like It's fine. It's cool. We're friends. We're friends.
Yes.
Like she's literally wearing my logo on her shirt. Look at that.
Wait. There we go.
See, we're friends on purpose. Like it's fine. But no, like if you heard me say this at the beginning of the show, my wife got into her Guardian series and is a huge fan, genuinely a huge fan. All joking aside, my wife really does love your work. She loves your character development. She loves your characters. And she talks about how she feels like she's lost her friends when the story ends. So let that be a testament to the people who are listening that this is definitely a series for you to jump into. It's not my genre of choice, which is why I haven't read it, but my wife has, and she is a huge fan. So that's the recommendation.
Can I make a recommendation?
To me or to the audience, or
to you and the audience?
Of course, I'm listening.
The third book is the best of the series.
Well, I'm not going to read the third book without reading the first two. I mean, I guess if you're going to read the third one, then you should absolutely read books 1 and 2 in preparation to the fourth one that's coming out. I don't want to jump ahead of Sako's structure because surprise, there was an email sent from our mutual email account that I did not read. I had to open it just so I can find the link to this.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, because Sako didn't send it to me. It's fine. It's okay. So I don't know what she said before I got here, but that whole waiting for Moon was me waiting for the link to get in here.
Oh my God.
I was smart and I knew that she sent it to you at some point. So it had to be in an email, likely from our mutual email account.
You crafty bugger.
You know, you gotta be smarter than the average bear.
Yeah.
Which women still choose over men. Well, this is not the point of this episode. Unless it shifts from bear to man, which I guess is kind of the conversation we're having, the shifter conversation, right? Right?
Some bear shifters, yes.
See? Boom. Boom goes the dynamite. See how I segued that in there? Accidentally. That's masterful. Masterful.
Seguation, yes. Is that even a word?
It is now. It is now. Why Sako keeps me on the show, I have no clue. I have no idea.
Sidekick. It's good.
It's good. It's good. Don't even worry about it. Everything's fine. Nothing's on fire. Chaos ensues.
It'd be warmer in here if it was on fire.
About the whole Moon talking between, and yeah, we prepared for you, so we're good.
We prepared for you. Yeah. All right. I have a bunch of questions that I'd love to ask you.
I have answers for these.
I'm sure we'll come up with answers to most of them. Okay. And so let's start with the Guardian series. Okay. What sparked the Guardian series? Character idea, scene, or something else?
Actually, all my books start with character. I start with one specific character, and I literally write the book around that character.
I do the same.
Beasley was actually Syrah. I was goofing around one day, and I kind of wrote this little short story about a girl that opened up a pagan store, and it kind of just evolved from there. And I think Underground Angel was Angel, and if you notice in all the books, it deals with real life things too. So like book 1 had a serial killer and a stalker, also with found family. Book 2 dealt with domestic abuse because Underground Angel actually ran an underground kind of railroad type thing of helping domestic assault victims.
Right.
And then book 3 was actually Lucas. I started the book around him. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Which character? Well, you just told us. What's the heart of the Guardian universe? What makes it yours?
I think with like the shifters and the trueborns that it's all natural magic. Like even the shifters, the magic chooses them. they may be the same bloodline, but it's not always this. All the family members end up being a shifter or a trueborn.
Right.
It's, some of them do stay human.
Hmm.
So I think that's the biggest thing, is that the magic actually is alive and it chooses who it wants.
So, are they born with it?
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I have a lot of questions because I'm not a big fan of fantasy.
Right.
So I'm just trying to figure out, is that something particularly unique to your series, or is that something that is kind of a
You don't
standard of the genre?
You don't come across it very often. I at least I haven't, to where like the magic chooses, or that the magic is a separate entity of itself.
Like the weird,
Like
yeah.
a character in itself.
Even in my newest books that I'm writing, in the Divine series, the wild is actually, instead of the weird, it's called the wild, and it's the magic itself, and it's a separate entity, but it chooses who it's going to bestow its power upon, I guess. So I kind of carried that over into the other series too, because I like to I don't consider shifters, here we go, shifters like werewolves. To me, werewolves are an infestation. You get bitten. It's a chemical thing.
Like a
Okay.
parasite.
Right. Shifters are, it's a magical thing. And my shifters are a little different. You don't have the whole painful transformation. You have the magical transformation. So with the magical transformation, they don't end up naked everywhere without clothes when they transform back. They end up with everything they were wearing before. So it's
So
more
almost kind of like a shimmer.
Yeah. It's in the books. I think I describe it. I describe it as almost like a fog that wraps around them as they're shifting.
Got it.
And
So
it's not painful.
to make a terrible comparison, it's like the Power Rangers.
I don't know. I've never watched the Power Rangers.
We'll have this conversation later.
I knew we were
Okay.
going to have a conversation. The
You,
second
me, and
But
Jace, we're going to have a conversation. No, that's a combo. That is a conversation. That's a sin. I digress because we have a show. But the Power Rangers, they'd be like in their regular clothes. They would morph. Obviously, morph means change. They would change, and they'd be wearing their Power Ranger suits. And then when they unmorphed, they would change back into exactly what they were wearing beforehand. So like that, as opposed to the transformation, as you described, the painful transformation where the guy's like screaming in the woods while his fingers are being disfigured and turning into something else.
All that.
Or the Hulk. Some depending on your renditions of the Hulk, it happens there too.
Right.
I could talk about my werewolves, but I think I'll
I mean, werewolves is the subject. I mean, I don't have werewolves.
So the way that I plan my werewolves is that when they change, like their bones reknit and their muscles kind of like shift and move, and it's a horrific thing to watch.
Is that part of the intentional horror element that you're adding? So it goes from that fantasy level to like a body horror kind of thing. Is that something that you're intentionally keeping out of your work, Jenny, or like the body horror element of it?
Yeah, kind of.
Is there a reason? And the reason I'm asking is because obviously one of the things that this show is actually for, not a platform for me to be ridiculous, although it is. It's something for the writer, the writer out there, the indie author who doesn't know what they're doing or trying to. This is what me and Sako try to do. We try to give some pointers to others. And as someone who's not a fan of fantasy, or someone who's just now trying to get into fantasy as a writer, they might come across both these two elements. If you're trying to do like strictly fantasy, then you might go a route similar to Jenny's, where you just have this magical transformation where it's like Power Rangers, whether you've watched it or not. Or if you're trying to add a horror element, body horror and the gruesome transformation from one form to another is a great, and I won't, not to diminish, but a great, simple, easy way of adding in body horror to an already, a series. You can put so much emphasis on just that body horror element that you can easily add, because you always mention, Sako, that you have like what do you say, like horror elements into your writing, like it's another genre with horror kind of sprinkled through, and that's a really simple place to add a really gruesome, nasty body horror element. That's a really like a good place to put it, where it makes sense. It's almost second nature and would fit into what a layman like myself would expect to happen in that area. Whereas if you're trying to stay in a holy fantasy area, it makes perfect sense to have it be like a fog or a shimmer or some sort of instant transformation or metamorphosis of a sort in a mystical sense. So I love that you guys are both doing essentially the same thing in multiple ways. Because again, what this show loves to do is highlight the hows.
Right.
It shows the hows. And I love that you guys are doing the same thing in different ways. Because I know a lot of people who will try to get into writing fantasy like you two are, and think, oh, well, it has to be like this. It has to be like this. This is the way. Or they might get the advice that it has to be this way. You need to do X, Y, Z. And it doesn't. It doesn't. And you two are highlighting the fact that it doesn't have to be this way or that. And I love that. And I wanted to highlight that. See, I'm ridiculous, but I come. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, see,
you should have started that. You shouldn't have started that trend.
For me, horror is a mental thing, so I like the jump scares and the mind fucks. Mm-hmm. I'm not the body horror type person. So if I'm going to put horror into my personal stuff, make it darker than what it is. Like Divine Games, I'm going to make it a lot darker, but I'm going to make it more psychological and more emotional than I am going to be physical. So there are a few parts that are going to be really physical in that one. And they're going to be just gore. I am going to have body gore in that one, but I don't generally do that. I generally do the psychological and the emotional horror rather than
right, like you just mentioned in Underground Angel, where Angel has that Underground Railroad for the battered and the victims, and that is enough, like
yeah. That hits both the psychological and I feel like that's a space where it would almost be tasteless to get too detailed and turn that into a horror element. That's just, I feel like that's too much given what it is. That being said, there is a space for it because sometimes you want to really highlight how bad the bad is,
right?
So that when the good overcomes, it is that much more of a relief, depending on how you're writing it. I have a rule where it's like I try not to let, if the bad guy's going to win, I don't want bad behavior to win. I don't want to like validate bad behavior. It's a really interesting gray area, sensitive spot when it comes to horror and how we do things. I feel like that's a whole different episode for us to do. But maybe we'll bring you back on that one. Who knows? If we do that one. But no, it's an interesting thing because, again, fantasy is not a monolith. Horror is not a monolith. And it's important that if we're going to get out there and write stuff, I mean, how many different variations of vampire stuff have we talked about just last season, where different vampires were doing different things and doing them different ways?
Yep.
I mean, there's ways of doing all this differently. So we all want to encourage you out there with your pens in your hand. Do the way you want. Just whatever works for you. Just do it your way. It'll work eventually.
Where were you now? What question were you on?
I told you, I threw this whole show off.
I know, right?
Okay, so I kind of want to go into the book breakdowns.
Okay.
Beastly
Mhm.
What does Sarah's inciting incident represent for the series? Can you answer that one?
I was trying to remember. Okay, I'm that horrible author that once I write the book, it's out of my head half the time. I
Which is
literally
very common.
go through
So
my
common.
books and sit and go, "Oh yeah, I remember that part. Oh yeah, I remember that part," because I'll forget things.
Me too.
I've literally questioned stuff in my books. So like, wait, did I say that? My book doesn't say that. I'm
I've
like,
had people go, "Oh,
son
this
of a bitch. Yes, it does.
has the same name as me." I said, "I wrote that." But with Sarah's inciting incident, I think hers is mostly she doesn't know who she is really because she was raised by her grandmother. Fine. Well, it's been out for a while now, so I can give
Spoilers. Well, you
Well,
know.
don't spoil too much because we're trying to sell copies here. It's the holiday season.
finds out
People got
somebody she finally finds out who her mother is and all this stuff. So it's kind of finding her real family, finding found family, but also mad scientist kind of weird shit going on in there, because she's a trueborn, which is like natural born witches, so that they have the power to do things. And she lived pretty much most of her life not using her magic. So she's kind of, once she got Zale ended up being her guardian, she had to learn what she didn't learn as a child. So, I mean, and then it ends up helping her protect herself later on. But yeah, it's from what I remember.
What do you remember?
All my books.
In Underground Angel, how does the world expand?
I think it shows that it's not just in one small area of the world. I mean, it's technically the United States. I just don't usually say cities. I just kind of talk about sections like the Midwest or something like that. So it covers a lot of ground, and it shows more of the territories and other people, because in the Guardian series, each part of the world and each part of the sections of the world is covered by certain territories. And then they've got the leader of each territory that kind of governs it to make sure everybody stays in line and doesn't.
Is this the supernatural side of?
Yeah.
Okay. So there is a political structure.
Yeah, there is. I just didn't play too heavily on it until 3 talks more about the council and that.
Mm-hmm.
The main council.
So in Touched by Rain, what makes Rain special in your eyes?
The fact that her magic and Lucas's magic mesh so well that he doesn't have visions when she touches him.
Ooh.
She's naturally, I mean, she's a shifter, but naturally her magic seems to make her negotiator. She's sent to do the special projects that nobody can get people out of.
Mm-hmm.
It shows that in the beginning of the book where she helps the girl come out that's been trapped in a cellar for so long. She doesn't want to leave because she's pretty much brainwashed into thinking that she shouldn't leave. And Rain has a thing that she does for some reason that can get people to listen to her and do things. And I think that plays into the fact that Lucas, who, when he touches anything or anyone, he has visions and he feels what happens in the visions. So he won't touch people. And her touch, he doesn't. It totally takes it and levels him out and makes it so he doesn't have those horrifying visions.
So there's relief, right?
Yes.
And
yeah, because we're trying to sell copies here.
We're trying to sell copies.
We're trying to sell copies here, ladies and gentlemen. And honestly, like, this is the holiday season, the fantastic time to buy books as gifts. And if you are going to buy gifts, I mean, nothing against the guy, but Stephen King's got enough money. Spread that money around, shop local, shop indie, and buy a book from an indie author. I mean, you got 3 on screen, but today I'm going to push everything towards buying books by J.Noble. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them on your e-reader. You can get all kinds of books. Go to your local library and request that they carry them books. That's
Oh, that would be awesome.
That'd be fantastic. So wherever you are, go to your local library, request J.Noble's books from the Guardian series, and those kinds of things. Like, do the things. I mean, yeah, if you want to buy Sako's book or my book, we'll appreciate it too. But today's about Jenny, so we're gonna push it. You should totally buy the books. So there's a reader in your family somewhere, and I'm sure they would love a brand new book that probably no one else around them has yet.
They have pretty covers, even.
They do have pretty. What would you say the age range on your books? Like would I like my 14, 15-year-old daughter, or should I just stick with my 21-year-old niece or something?
I would say 17 on up.
Okay, so yeah, so you got that high school senior or that kid about to go away to college next year, to give them a book to read. Right now would be a great time. Buy it now, get it to them like right before Christmas so they can read it over Christmas break.
Right.
Buy the whole series, because if they're actually as good as my wife says they are, they're going to need the other books on standby.
They're a quick read.
So go ahead and buy books 1, 2, and 3. They're going to run and read them back to back to back. Trust me on this one's got my wife's recommendation on it. L3 up front. Do the things. Go be a doer of things and go buy Jenny's books.
Yeah.
Yay.
So what does a typical writing session look like for you?
Chaos.
Without us harassing you on Discord.
Yeah. Well, I try not to get distracted, but I do. I don't know. I get up. I work from home anyway. I'm full-time author, so it's pretty much get up, make coffee, make breakfast, set up for the day. I don't usually start. I do administration work in the morning, like emails and whatever else I want to do. I don't usually start writing until either after I chatted with you guys on Discord, or about 10 o'clock in the morning is when I start. Izzy usually works most of the day on days that he goes to bed super early. He drives trucks, so like if he goes to bed at 6 o'clock at night, I'll write in the evening too. So, but it all depends on what I'm working on, because I have 3 projects now, and
only 3.
Only 3. No, I actually have 4 now because of the whole anthology thing that's coming this spring. I've been working on that too. So
I'm gonna try to work on that one.
I need to work on that one. Yeah.
I have a great idea for that one. I just got to get it out of my head. But I'm working on full-time working on Divine Games, part-time working on book 4 for Guardian series. So. And the third one is kind of actually a YA novel for my stepson. So.
Okay. I'm trying to write a note.
I don't know what she's doing either. She's trying to go, what questions have we answered without trying to ask the questions?
I know, right?
I throw her off all the time. It's so much fun.
How does writing a journal or a workbook fuel or contrast with your fiction?
It doesn't. My fiction deals with magic. I always add some queer aspect to it because I'm part of the community. So why not do journals? Why not do, I have the spell and ritual journal.
Mm-hmm.
I have plain journals that are out. I do have LGBTQ journals. I pulled them because I want to redo the covers. I have new ideas for the covers. So I pulled them so I can redo the covers. They'll get released slowly throughout 2026. But to me, writing's writing. It doesn't matter what genre or what kind of book I'm working on. It's still a part of writing for me.
I mean, is there a ritual that you do when you write, or
an obscene amount of drinks, snacks? I have a jar of sugar-free hard candy that I have because I get the munchies and I'd rather suck on a piece of hard candy. Don't even. On a piece of hard the second it was out of my mouth, I knew it was going to happen.
I was going to save it for after the show.
But other than that, not really. I write everything down the night before of what I want to do the next day, whether I get it done or not. I don't, I'll move things over to the next day if I don't get it done. But yeah.
Wow.
Oh, if I like strictly set specific times aside, it'll never get done. I squirrel way too much for that. It's okay, I'm gonna write today and then I'll sit down and I'll write, but I can't structure very strictly what I do.
So what does good representation mean to you as far as like paranormal romantic fiction?
Good representation, as long as it's nothing like
problematic.
Yeah, one set of books comes to mind, but I don't write that extreme of sexy scenes, so I'm not worried about those books. But good representation is just, honestly, I've never had bad reviews. I have yet to get one bad review. I think the lowest I ever got was a 3, and it was because somebody said it wasn't a book for them, but my characters were believable and well written. So I figure as long as, I don't write anything that's extreme, that's outside my comfort zone of extreme, then I'm fine.
I think it's a really important thing to say on two different fronts. One, if you are going to review a book that's not for you, then just do that. 3-star, hey, believable characters, not really my jam. That's just me personally. I can see why other people love it. That's an honest and fair review. Also, always review books. And don't put a review on, let me just side note for a second. If Amazon left your package out in the rain or something stupid, do not, listen, don't give the author a 1-star review because your book came in bad packaging from Amazon. Don't do that. Because that makes it come across as if the writer is bad and the book is a 1-star. That has nothing to do. You complain to customer service, then read the book or have them replace the book so you can read it and give a proper review to the author. There's been a few times where indie authors or independent stuff will get negative reviews because of something the distributor did. Yeah. And like, I didn't get my book 1-star reviews. Like, wait, well, hold on a second. Hi, Izzy.
They say hi, Izzy.
The internet has said hello.
The whole internet is saying hello.
But again, it's like, just don't. The review is not for Amazon. The review is for the book and for the author. If you like the book and the author, leave a review. Honest, 1-star, 5-star. Just be honest about it, but don't leave a review based on
don't
what
tag
Amazon
them in
did. Don't be weird.
Don't be weird.
See,
but don't.
Reviews, but I never answer them.
Yeah, your seller, your delivery people. If Michael delivered the book and threw it at your front door, don't leave the negative review for Jenny's book. That's not what the review does. I think a lot of people just literally just do not know that. Like, honest to God, I just think they just do not know. They just review the full experience and they just write dumb shit. So I'm just saying that. The other thing is about representation. I'm back on track now. Mm-hmm. About representation, we all come from communities that may or may not get proper representation out there in the world. And I think the most important thing about what you said, Jenny, is that, even in that 3-star review, your characters were believable. I think the most honest thing that we can say to anyone trying to write a character that comes from a particular space, and that's very broad on purpose, because it can be anything. It could be, I did a panel at Imaginarium on culturally diverse characters, and we had people on our panel who were they were Latina, or they were Black, or they were from the Pacific Islands. And we had one woman who was sitting next to me who was from just a military family. Which, if you look at that, regardless of any other factor, that military family aspect, that's an isolated world that not everybody understand. I don't. I didn't have to grow up, every year in a new school, every year in a new state or town. That's an isolated situation that only that one community will understand. And I think the most important part of that, as it was said, is that the characters are believable. And more important than that, the characters are just honest. And portraying these people as people, not as others, not as this fantasy object over here, but as people, as honest, true, real people. That's the best way to show representation of any sort in any space.
Right.
There you go. There's my speech.
There you go. Okay. Has a reader response ever changed how you saw a character or story?
No, not really. You wanted me to say yes, didn't you? Not really.
We want honest answers. Yes, no, or whatever.
No,
We want the
no
truth.
is a valid answer.
I mean, I've had people respond about certain characters, but never made me change my thought towards that character or scene or
Can
book.
I ask a follow-up to that?
Sure.
Instead of made you change the way you thought about that, has a person's thought or review of a character maybe highlighted something that like maybe you felt needed to be more clear in the following book, or has that like influenced how you present your character so that maybe this element is more, oh, that guy didn't understand, let me make that more clear, or someone said that my character didn't seem XYZ, let me try better in the next book? Has that ever happened?
Not character wise, but like book one, I didn't actually, it was the person that gave me the 3-star review that wasn't their thing. It was I didn't expand on the world building as much in book one. I focused mostly on the characters. I talk about the council and all that stuff, so that kind of expanded through the next 2 books, and it'll expand more into book 4. So yeah, that's changed because I realized that I did not touch on certain things, and I should have, and I did that in book 2, and then I added it more in book 3. So yeah, that made a change, made me think more about the workings of the world that they live in. The way the guardians are trained and stuff like that. So
do you feel better about that change? Do you feel like you
actually
grew in the series or even as a writer from that?
Right. That's mostly as a writer, because I realize that the more I know, the more it'll get shown into the book, whether I state the obvious or not. Because you can give subtle hints on things or just make it come up in brief conversation. You don't have to put a whole background of, this is how this works and this is how this works. You can make small comments through it, everything. Like they use technology, and I don't go through like the whole of what they use and all this stuff. But like in what book was it? Book 3. In Tech by Rain, Lacey is their tech. She's chasing down things with, GPS and using her laptop and all that stuff. I don't state that they've got a whole corporation full of techs and all this stuff, but I show it with little tiny tidbits throughout the books. So
I think that was good the way you put it. The more I know, the more it'll show in subtle ways. There's a lot of stuff that you'll end up writing. I mean, all of us will end up writing that never touches a page. It's just background stuff that we know, and we can refer to it. We can drop it in here and there. And those who know will know. And if you look it up and ask questions like, "Oh yeah, that's a thing from so and so," then yes, it checks. It checks.
Right.
And I think that makes it feel, again, more honest, more real.
Do readers latch on to a character you didn't expect?
Book 1, my daughter yelled at me because of Pace. Pace is a character he was just a side character at first, to the beginning of the book, and then he kind of becomes a little bit more by the end of the book. But what happens to him, because he's this very flamboyant and gay guy that is, working in her shop, and my daughter fell in love with him. I think your wife mentioned something about him too.
Probably.
and then things happen to him, and Karina literally called me up. Why did you do that to him? I'm so mad at you. I've had more than one person tell me that he was one of their favorite characters, and I just messed it all up. And I'm like, in a good way, not messed it up to where it destroyed the book, but it was like they didn't expect to happen with him what happened and all that. Give away the good stuff. Would.
I love that. She's got that face.
I know. I'm worried.
Is the Guardian series continuing? Any new projects you're excited about?
It actually is, because in book one, I fell in love with Marla. I absolutely fell in. She was like a side character, and just she's in each book. And I just, as each book went, I added a little bit more and more of her, and now book 4 is about her and Adrian, and it's a mess for right now because I'm just starting to really work into it. But yeah, so book 4 is going to be out. Hopefully, I want it to be out by July of next year.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I'm working on that. But
that's industrious.
yeah.
We love things going out in July.
Yeah, we do.
Touch Rain went out in July. I think basically was February, and Underground Angel was, God, I don't even remember when that went out.
I don't remember. Yeah.
I know Underground Angel was my hardest to write because of the whole chaos that was going on in my life.
Yeah.
And that one I was surprised I even got out. And Touched by Rain was delayed by another amount of chaos. Why I'm chaotic. And I had so much going on those 3 books. And this one is, things are smooth, things are good. So hopefully it'll be out by July. I'm also working on a darker fantasy book on a different series. And that one I've got the first draft done. So I'm slowly working through the second draft on that. So yes, there's more Divine Games. You can tell your wife. Not Divine Games.
I know what you meant. More Guardian.
More Guardian.
I told her. She knew.
And there might actually be more if I decide to do like little side stories, like little novellas on a couple other characters. So
I have a question for the both of you. And this is actually inspired by an interview I heard, I think, with J.R. Ward. How big do you see your universe being in the end? When I ask that question, what I mean is, like, how many books do you think you can get out of your universe? Like, do you feel like there's only like 5 stories worth of universe that you have, or do you feel like you could literally write this series forever?
I think the Guardian series, depending on who I introduce in each book, like if I keep introducing new people, then that's a whole new story right there. Each person has a different story that you can tell, whether it's a novella or a full book. But, and like Divine Games, that one, I don't know how far that one's going to go, but so far I've got like 4 books planned out for that one. So
it's one of those things that I take in consideration, because I look at major franchises out here in the, in science fiction more so than anything else. You look at Star Trek, you look at Star Wars, and the bigger the science fiction world, and you're like, they just keep making movies, and at some point maybe they should just not. And like, you feel like after a while the story is just kind of like, put her out. And I look at, I was listening to that because I wasn't familiar with J.R. Ward, but I listened to an interview, and apparently she's been writing the same series for a couple of decades now, with like tens and tens and tens of books. out there in the series. So I'm like, you really can, if done right, you can write a whole bunch of books in one universe and keep it popular, keep it relevant. I'm just interested in why some can and some can't, why it works for some and doesn't for others.
Maybe they just run out of ideas or plots. I mean, you mentioned Star Trek. Izzy reads the Star Trek books, and there is a ton of those books. They go in so many different directions. And
yeah, there's a ton of series out now too.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like never ending with those books. It's going to take us a while to build up that series. But yeah, trying to think of there's several romance authors out there that have like several
Dozens
of books in the same worlds.
I do that, yeah.
And that's with the Guardian series. It's all in the same world, and you can read the books separately, but it's more clear when you read them from 1 to 3. If that makes any sense. I mean, 3 and not have to read the other 2 books, because it does touch on things from the other 2 books, but you could read them separately. And I purposely write those books like that so that you don't have to, like, if somebody accidentally picks up book 2, then they don't have to worry about book 1 and 3, because they can just read that one and be done.
Because they're technically standalones, but they're in the same universe.
Universe, and then some of the same people are in all the books.
So I'm kind of doing something similar, but I don't have them like labeled as a series. Like Hope's Chest and Flambeau and Shadow of the Fae, they're all technically the same universe.
Right.
Despite being wildly different.
I think the reason why I keep mine in a series is because the people do cross in each book.
Yeah.
So I try to keep, and a lot of them are family that keep crossing. So, because like this, it started out with Beasley with the Samson family. You've got Zale, and you've got Roland and August, and so they're all kind of like family, and Marla is like a part of their family because she grew up with them. And then they're all in the next few books. So, in fact, Rain and Lucas for sure are in book 4.
Oh. If the series hit Netflix or Hulu tomorrow, who's in your dream cast?
I've never thought about that, honestly. I've had people say that Zale reminds them of Jason Momoa.
Oh.
Yeah, so I can see that. Honestly, I don't watch enough TV or movies to know people who I would want.
Okay.
And my brain, half the time, they screw up the book anyway. So I'm like, no.
So maybe an animated series?
Well, that'd be kind of a adult version animated series.
It would.
There are spicy scenes in all 3 books. I mean, they're not too explicit, but
they're not that explicit, no.
So, but I don't know. I've never really deep thought about who I wanted to be in my books. And
yeah, I tend not to think too much about that either.
My characters, you've read my books. If you notice, I don't go into extreme detail of what they look like most of the time.
Right.
I prefer to have the writer
personality.
I go personality over looks on my book. I mean, unless it matters to that moment. And so you don't, like Marla in book 1, it becomes obvious that she's Native American. And so that's got to be carried through all the books. But I don't usually. And then in book 2, Angel is albino and her adopted brother is black. So you've got that contrast. But, I don't usually describe skin tone, and I don't describe certain parts of features because of the fact I want the reader
The
to
reader.
draw it up in their own head. I draw on personality more than I do looks. And I
That's
do that with a
interesting.
lot of my book, a lot of my stories. Unless it pertains specifically to the story, then I don't usually describe somebody's features.
Is that intentional?
Yeah, it is intentional. Because I want my readers to choose what their person looks like or what the characters look like. Unless it's like I said in Underground Angel, I can't remember her brother's name. Oh my god, that bothers me. Her brother is black, she's albino, and their parents are two gay men. And so it's like their family is this huge mixture family, and I wanted to make a point of that because it was part of the storyline, but otherwise I don't do descriptions too much.
That's interesting. What's one piece of advice you wish you had when you started writing?
You don't have to write every day. When I started writing and seriously got into it, that's all I heard. Write every day. You gotta
Right, every day.
And I'm that person. I'm not gonna write every day. I can't.
I don't either.
Shut down. Yeah. I may journal every day. I may, think about my writing, but I can't write every day. It's not gonna happen. One, because of schedules and life and everything, and I will shut down if I have to schedule my life to a T. It just won't happen.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's one of the big ones. And also, don't answer your reviews. You read them, but whether they're good or bad, let them be, because the reviews are for the readers, not for you.
Yeah.
I mean, it may give you an idea of what you may have to work on, but don't. I've seen too many writers lately, a lot of them, arguing with their readers over what their reviews were.
Right. Which is bad form.
Right.
Yeah. I agree with acknowledging reviews in some cases. When screenshots went live, there was a lot of people who had some opinions of screenshots, and we just kind of responded because it's YouTube, and so it's a slightly different format. Engagement is engagement. So with YouTube, we were just kind of like, well, thank you for bringing it to our attention. Glad you enjoyed it. Sorry you didn't, whatever the case may be. But yeah, we recognize what you said, and so we're not arguing, but we are acknowledging the comments more so than the reviews, I suppose. But yeah, in review form, I think that's kind of like this new feisty thing because of social media and the way people they've gotten into engagement programming,
right?
Where we're programmed to engage and create engagement and engage with engagement to create more engagement because people are trying to make money off of social media and such. And I think that's what drives newer writers and authors to argue back, because that makes the person want to write back. And it's this idea that engagement leads to engagement leads to engagement. But on Goodreads, that's not going to do you any favors. It's not. It's going to make you. This is for everybody else. This is going to make you look like an asshole. Because you can't take criticism as the way anybody else is going to read that on the surface. It's going to say you can't take criticism and you're kind of an asshole. And people will not read books from authors they don't like.
Right.
If they don't know you, it's a crapshoot. If they just see a name or see a cover, it's hit or miss. It's whatever. It's the universe playing the game. But if they know who you are and they do not like you, they will not read your book. Do not feed into that. Don't give them a reason not to like you.
That feeds into the whole indie thing too. Right now, there's the whole indie versus trad, and it's more indie people now than it is traditional. It's starting to shift. But there's a lot of people, I refuse to read anything indie because it's published and there's too
Not
many.
edited and blah 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 blah. Yeah.
Well, right. And if it's indie, it's got to be AI and all this stuff. And it's like, you know what? Don't read my book if you don't want to read my book. I don't write. It sounds stupid, but or at least to me, I don't write to sell books. I write because even on the back of my cards it says I gives the voices of my heads a home to live. Because I have so much stuff in my head, I have to put it down and might as well publish it and let the rest of the people see my psychoticness. You know,
That is how I feel as well.
I
Yeah.
agree with you
if I make a few
completely.
bucks on my books, then yay. But you know, I write because
I write what I want to see in the world.
yeah, I write the books I want to read. So
Mhm.
I mean, the writing doesn't do any good in a notebook, on a shelf, in a
Right.
room, in a cabinet. Like, it doesn't do, you wrote it down, might as well, you introduced it to the world, you might as well share it with the world.
right.
So there are a lot of people, oddly enough, who believe that indie writing is either fake or inherently bad. It's like, well, it can't be good. That's why they couldn't get an agent, right? So first of all,
Some of us don't even bother.
I've
you
never
know,
tried. Never tried.
I've never even thought of trying. I was like, I have no intention. But
I have no intention.
you know, and we have another guest later on this season, well, who is traditionally published, so we can ask all those agent questions to them and ask them their thoughts on the difference between indie and traditional publishing, also as they run a bookstore. So hopefully
Right.
we have that. Hopefully we have that guest later on. It just bothers me at this notion that we can't just release things on our own because we can. I mean, that's the difference between now. Same thing with music. Same thing with music. I mean, for the longest time, there was the way to release music, right?
Mhm.
You got a record deal, you got yourself a manager, and then you end up paying all of these people before you ever see a check. Like, why is one of the best-selling artists in the world TLC and they're broke? They're on tour worldwide and they're broke.
Right.
Everyone's listening to their music and they are broke.
Mhm.
Everyone around them is rich, but they're broke. That makes no sense to me. So the ability now that you can go out and just put a song out on Spotify and let it be, or create a song and use it as a sound file on TikTok, and now everybody pushes
Right.
your song up the charts. That's great. It puts the power back in the hands of the artist, and I think that's the beauty of indie. Doing things on your own, and one of the things we love about this show is we get to help other indies do exactly this.
Right.
I'm not sure how much more you got question wise, Sako.
Just the rapid fire.
Okay, so I'm going to real quick just touch on the fact that we had already mentioned that you're in 3 anthologies, right?
Right.
Those anthologies, they're not put out by big major publishers or companies or anything like that. They literally started as a conversation on Discord.
Yep.
Amongst a bunch
On
of writers.
YouTube.
Did y'all start that on YouTube? That's what we were. So either way,
Blog
it's like,
Hag started on YouTube. Yeah.
so a conversation happens, and a bunch of writers decide to get together and then just do it.
Right.
Mhm.
Why wouldn't they? Think about how long we'd be still waiting for Bog Hag to come out if we were waiting on the traditional route.
Right.
If we were going through some traditional route, we'd still be waiting on Bog Hag. The third one has come out.
Yep.
So the books are out. People are published. Their work is available to the public, and YouTube are both featured in those anthologies. People can go out and sample your readings right now, amongst others. And if they don't like what they read from either one of you guys, there's still other writers in those anthologies. Buy anthologies, and it's a great way of sampling people's writing. They find a writer that you like, or an author that you like, and then go buy the rest of their stuff. But you get that power back in indie publishing, and I think that it's just so sad that people wouldn't put such a stain on it. Hopefully, we get to turn it around.
Okay, so I have 5 rapid fire questions that I didn't send you.
Oh Lord.
So, spur of the moment, right off the top of your head, like
I know what happens when that happens.
we're just gonna
All right.
we're right through through these. Okay. If a shifter clan adopted you for a night, what's the first rule you'd immediately break?
I'd want them to shift in public because it would be kind of fun to watch people freak out. Seriously, just a big ass crowd, have one of them shift right in the middle of it, and have it hopefully be like one of the big bears or something, so it's like quite obvious that they're not.
Yeah. What's one myth about shifters you think humans completely misunderstand?
In my world or in general, because
In
like
your world.
in my world, the shifter and their animal aspect are one. So when they're their animal, they think as both. So they have the instincts of the animal actions, but they can still think things out. And what I found in general in a lot of shifter movies is once you become your animal, you're your animal. You're not any part of you anymore. So in
Yeah.
my books, they coexist.
Oh, okay. If you had to pick a shifter scent marker, what would yours smell like, and why is it mildly threatening?
I don't have scent markers in my book. They sense the magic. They don't have. So when they're around each other, a shifter or a trueborn, they feel the magic, but they don't
Smell each other.
know.
Unless they didn't bathe, then they might.
Then they
Then
I mean, other than normal cologne or stuff like that, they can smell, and their senses are enhanced as a shifter, but they sense the magic more than they would do anything else.
Ah. What's the most dangerous thing someone should never do around a shifter that is shifting?
Somehow, I don't know. I've never really thought
Make
about
themselves a target, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, in Touched by Rain, I had the polar bear shifter, so he had an attitude before he shifted and after he shifted. So
Mm-hmm.
it's ending, but yeah, because once they shift, they have the power of their magic and the animal they shift into. So
If a shifter spirit guide showed up in your dreams tonight, what form do you hope it takes? And what form do you fear it actually would?
I would hope for an owl because I love owls. I think that they're great messengers. and in the new book, I have a honey badger, and I fear it would be a honey badger.
You fear it would be a honey badger. Yeah.
In the new book, her name is Daisy. She is Marla's daughter's girlfriend. She is like a rainbow goth, the sweetest little thing you'll ever meet until she gets angry because she's a honey badger. So her personality goes from bubbly and happy to I will rip your throat out, and she says it so calmly all the time when she does it too, because she's just vicious. So yeah, if that happened, that's probably what would happen in my life, in my dream.
Where can listeners find you and follow your work?
My books are on Amazon under J.Noble or the Guardian series. I'm on Substack. I'm on Instagram and Blue Sky, and I do have a Facebook page that I am trying to keep up with. So yeah, I know. I feel like that. I am on Instagram and Threads. That's why I don't usually post on Threads, but Instagram automatically does, so it just happens.
It just happens.
But if you need, I will give you my link tree, because my link tree has the links to everything, all my books, all the anthologies, and all the places that I'm in.
That would be great, and I'll stick it in the description. Thank you to J.Noble for joining us and sharing the heart, humor, and raw creativity behind the Guardian series. We explored the sparks that shaped her world, the characters who surprised her, and the unique blend of queer and witchy energy that fuels her writing. If you would like to dive deeper into her novels, journals, or upcoming projects, make sure to follow her on all those platforms. And as always, if you enjoyed this episode, leave a review, share it with your book-loving friends, and keep wandering with us into the shadows. Also, what shifter movie should we review on Tuesday, Jenny?
Actually, the movie that got me really into werewolves and shapeshifters was The Howling.
The Howling.
80s version of The Howling, those series. Those are the ones that got me into
classic.
Right?
Do you
I've never seen it.
Wow.
I feel like that's on Tubi.
Yeah, probably.
I haven't seen it in years, but it's one of the first werewolf movies that I saw that always got me interested in werewolves and shifters.
I goofed something, but that's fine. This has been Sako and the Moon. Until next time, keep your light close and your monsters closer. Yeah.
Insert theme song.
Oh, yeah.